Hey, welcome to the Wellness Movement. I am Julie from Balance Life with Julie, and you are watching Spanglish World and her network on Zingo TV channel 250 and 251. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app on your app store, leave a review. It's all free. And a Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire Sticks, Roku and Roku sticks on all smart TVs from 2016 forward. So today I have a very special guest on the show, Jason Berry, my friend and colleague. And I wanted Jason to come on because Jason has had an amazing transformation and completely changed his life. And so the reason I wanted to have Jason on is like someone like me who has been in the health and wellness space for years, and obviously I take care of myself, and it's a big part of my life. In fact, it's what I do for a living. Um, sometimes people don't want to hear from me because they're like blah blah blah, right? So I wanted to feature someone who probably represents a vast majority of people out there, and I wanted Jason to share his story. So Jason, where were you before? Like pre-transformation, where were you? What were you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity and for thinking of me to do this show with you. So it means a lot, and I hope we can inspire other people to take their first steps towards their better health as well. Um, Honestly, less than a year ago, it all started. Basically, laid off due to COVID, and strange way, it was like a blessing in disguise because my body and my mind really needed a timeout and kind of allow me to focus on my health and myself for a little while. So, and then in divine timing, that's kind of when I met you and Michael and the whole community, and everything just aligned with me, and I've been so grateful for it ever since. And probably the last 9 or 10 months, I have dropped 60 pounds, um, strictly through superfoods, honestly, through Purium. And I haven't even gone to the gym much. I've gone to the gym maybe a dozen times during that period, just because due to the COVID situation and everything, I haven't been comfortable around the gyms. But
Mm-hmm.
and not only weight wise, just the place I was mentally, physically, like I was dealing with a lot of physical pains, being 300 pounds, walking. I was selling cars, so dressed up in a suit every day and walking that lot back and forth in between cars, and like just by the end of the day, every day I was in pain, and all I could do was just go home and put my feet up and numb my pain with food and alcohol, and just
Mm-hmm.
not a way to live, and you're just amplifying things, and I have
Yeah.
completely turned my
So
habits
just like
around.
finding ways to numb the pain. So where was the pain in your body? Like, was it your
Oh,
joints or was it
oh yeah,
just?
for sure. Knees, feet, lower back. I felt like I was putting my lower back out like every second month kind of deal, like
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Even like between the shoulder blades, the neck, because of the heavy belly hanging over, and wearing a suit all the time, and just honestly starting from the neck right down to the lower back, to the knees, to the feet, and that can take its toll mentally on a person. Like it was not a pretty place to be, honestly.
Yeah. And like,
And
so
even
how long had you been like that?
oh, it's been you know strangely enough, 20 years ago when I was 23 years old, I hit that same plateau. I hit 305 pounds, and for me, that was a breaking point. And I just went on a rampage in the gym, and over a 2 year period, I lost like 110 pounds. So towards my late 20s and early 30s, I was like in the best shape of my life and feeling great. But I was living a really pretty disappointing lifestyle. Had to learn things the hard way, and
Mm-hmm.
around 32 about 10 years ago, I kind of hit the wall at 100 miles an hour, and over the last 10 years I have managed to put every pound that I lost back on. And these last probably 3 to 4 years were I was kind of stagnant. I was right there. I was always between 280 and 300 and just stuck there. And I made some big moves in my life during this last 3 years to like help me kind of liberate myself from my past and from certain traumas that were holding me back from evolving as a person. I took care of that, and then slowly, just I love using the word divine because just it's the way it's been. Just in timing, things just kind of come along. And this past year, like I said, time off, to focus on myself and my family, like it's just been life changing. And to lose
So
60 pounds has been
I,
just amazing.
I just wanted to ask because for a lot of people, like obviously this last year with, excuse me, I'm being visited. This last year with COVID has, hey guys,
Puppies,
hey puppies. This last year with COVID has been challenging for a lot of people, and a
absolutely.
lot of people have taken the route of drinking, food, um, maybe even recreational drugs to try and deal with what's been going on.
Yeah.
So, what do you think it is with you that you decided that you were going to take this time to get your health back on track?
Well, probably 4 to 6 weeks into being laid off, we all started realizing this is going to be a long haul. And I'd already gained a few pounds being off for a month, right? Now I wasn't being active, and I still having the habit of having a nightly drink or two, and eating. So I gained like 8 pounds in the first 5 6 weeks of being laid off, and that was the moment. That was like a wake up call. Like, no, I cannot continue like this. And I started exploring and doing some research because of all the time off, and I really um, just started doing the work to find what aligns with me most. And I explored a couple of options like keto and stuff, but just didn't align with me. And that's the moment where I met all of you guys at Purium, and everything just changed. And it's
You
just
know what
been,
my thoughts are on keto, right?
oh yeah, we won't even go there.
No, I just for people who may not be aware,
Yeah,
just FYI, the weight that you lose on keto is all water weight. And they actually compared, there was that, and I needed to actually, should have written this down, but there was a study that compared a whole food plant-based diet versus a keto diet, and they tracked it over like a period of, I would say, a few weeks. And the weight loss on a whole food plant-based diet was comparable to the keto weight loss, but the difference was on a whole food plant-based diet you were losing fat, whereas on the keto diet you're losing water weight. So on the scale it looks great, but what's not happening is your body composition isn't changing, right? So we do want to be losing fat, right? That is accumulating on the body, because that's what's not good for our organs. It's not good for our organs to have all this fat layered around them. And it's also, and to me, this is not about being skinny. To me, this is about finding the balance for your body and what's healthy. So if your joints are aching, if your back is hurting, if you've got like skin eruptions because of what's going on in your body, you might be enjoying the food and the alcohol, but your body is screaming at you that it's out of balance.
my body was screaming at me. That's
So,
exactly what I tell people. My body was screaming at me.
yeah. And it takes, and it does mean like, so my feeling very strongly is also this, is that if what you were doing is actually working, then you should not feel like crap. You should feel good. And that means physically good too.
Yeah,
So if you're not feeling physically good,
yeah,
then that is something to look at. And like anything, you didn't get to that 300 pounds overnight. That also means you're not going to get back to balance overnight either. So it
100%.
is a journey.
Yeah.
It might take you, depending on where you're at, could take you 6 months, could take you a year, could take 2 years. Who cares how long it takes? Because as long as you're taking the steps in the right direction, you'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And what you just said is exactly what I'm living. It's exactly what I'm living because, yeah, I've lost 55, 60 pounds, and I still have another 50 to go.
mhm.
But physically, overall, I feel like I've gained 10 years of my life. I feel like I did at 33 again. All the aches and pains that I've been living with for the last few years, like probably over 5 6 years of real pain, are gone. Like I live with 10% of the pain I was living with before.
Mhm.
And actually, a couple weeks ago, I was just joking with my mom the other day because I went shopping for some new clothes. As you see, they're getting big on me. And I was like, some of the clothes were just not fitting accordingly, but man, I was like actually acknowledge that, wow, I feel a lot better than I actually look in the mirror for myself kind of
Mm-hmm.
deal. Because I truly, I'm feeling really, really good. Like I'm just getting back into a little bit of I joined this gym, boxing, it has a little boxing, it's called Box to Fit. So I was like, I'm able to start doing things that I always wanted to do for the last few years. And so it's just all coming together right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
definitely feel so much better right now than I have in probably a decade. And
So do
um,
you look back at those years where you were carrying all that extra weight and having all that physical pain in your body? Because I too have had my own transformation. And I think a lot of people who are in the wellness space, we do what we do because there was something up with our health and we had to figure it out, like the natural way, not with like pills and potions and stuff like that. And so now when I think back to the kind of pain that I lived with daily to what I live with now, even though I'm not fully where I want to be, where I envision myself, I go, how the heck, like, how did I get up in the morning? Because I was in such a state. So do
oh
you
yeah,
kind of look back at yourself and go, how did I do what I was doing?
yeah, absolutely. I That's why I was in such a dark place mentally because I was hit 43, worst shape of my life. I got 40 actually. I was worst shape of my life, and I'm 40, and there's some days I probably felt like what an 80-year-old feels like, literally
Mhm.
getting out of bed and limping to the washroom to do your morning pee and whatnot. Just those first couple hours of the morning were really rough. Like it's like literally like your body's full of rust and you're breaking off the rust. And now I'm hopping out of bed, no issues. I can play with my 4.5-year-old nephew, no problem. He's a wild one. He keeps me, all of us busy, and I can keep up with him. Like it's pretty awesome. Before, just the person I was a year ago, I would have had a hard time with all of that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what would you say to anybody who's in that state presently? And maybe
There's
they've thought
definitely
about it, like maybe they've been scrolling on social media and maybe they're they've been putting it off for years. What would, because I also
yeah.
think that the thing that stops people from embarking on their own transformation, and I'm not just talking about like a physical transformation, because along with the physical is the mental and the emotional and the spiritual, because everything is interconnected. And so I think the thing that stops a lot of people is fear. They're afraid of changing their
Absolutely.
routine. They're afraid of getting uncomfortable, because here's the other, and I'm not, and I like to shoot straight from the hip. I don't like to lie to people about it. Is that when you're changing your routine and your habits, and especially when you're detoxifying the chemicals out of your body and the processed sugars and all the garbage that's sitting in your cells, that process is not comfortable. It doesn't last forever. It usually
Yeah.
only lasts a few days, but you do have to muster up your courage and be willing to face that unknown and work through it. And the cool thing about this process is there are people to support you, right? You're going through the process, but you're not going through it completely by yourself. Like you can reach out to a whole community of people who are going to cheer you on and let you know that the fact that you feel like garbage on day 2, that's totally normal.
Yeah. 100% what you just said as well, because part of it was the support of the community, like you and Michael and some others, obviously. And what you said spiritually, like, it's funny how certain, first of all, the time that I took to actually understand, finally, for the first time in my life, that connection between our gut health and our mental health. Being
Mm-hmm.
someone who has struggled with mental health, and I went through depression in my mid 30s. Um, Obviously, what the expression, you are what you eat, and what we're putting in our body is affecting us physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of it. And I never really, I don't want to use the word cared, but I guess I didn't care enough to acknowledge that. And now this journey, this past 10 months, 9 months has been all about that. And it's
Mhm.
funny when we take nature's medicine, nature's food, you know, what the life force energy has to offer us, how all these, I call it the trifecta, has just been kind of coming together physically, mentally, and spiritually for me. And I know for other people in our community that they're experiencing similar.
Yeah.
Just where I am in my mental space, wow, like I'm so grateful for it. Where I am physically right now, just in the matter of 9 months, like I said, is just I'm a different person completely. And I still have a lot of work to do, but
Yeah.
it's just a sign of hope and that there of what could be. And that's what motivates me. So
Mhm.
that's what I said earlier. I was addicted to numbing my pain. Now I'm addicted to healing my pain, my traumas, you know, and that's the
Mhm.
journey I'm on right now. And
So I think the thing, like just from a coaching perspective, is that we continue to do things. We're, as human beings, we're wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, right? So a lot of times it's easier in the short term to seek pleasure through addictive behaviors. And all of us have our behaviors. Like I've had my food addictions as well. Like, I mean, that's why I'm so anti sugar, because I literally think that sugar is poison. It doesn't have a place. And I'm talking about processed sugar, I'm not talking about
yeah,
whole fruits. And I don't feel that it has a place in a healthy diet. And now there are people that will probably counteract me and say, oh, you know, it's all about moderation. And it's like, but would you have a moderate amount of cocaine every day? Like, what do you think is a moderate amount of cocaine? You know? And so I think if we kind of shift our perspective a bit and really look at what are the effects that these processed foods, processed sugar, processed meats, what are the effects that they're actually truly having on our body and our psyche, I think more of us would be motivated to break up with those habits and and lean into those. I mean, I call creating these kinds of transformations, I call them like self-care, self-love rituals. I think the best thing, the most the truest way you can love yourself is to take care of the body that you've been blessed with, because this is your earth vessel that you get to experience life with. And if it is destroyed, then life is not as much fun. But if you can take care of it and revere it, then it's going to bless you with great health and you're going to be able to enjoy so many experiences. And that's not a downer, it's actually an upper. It's really exciting. And I think, unfortunately, most people, because of marketing and advertising and social pressure, have gone to the dark side big time.
our economy and corporations have created a monster.
Yeah.
And it's no coincidence that in North America, obesity and mental health is at an all-time high. It's
Yeah.
the proof is right there.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say even in this past year, like my perspective is that so many people are so afraid of COVID. But what if COVID is a wake-up call? What if it's a wake-up call to show us how unhealthy we are as a society, and that we, like all of us, have the power to take back our health? And so what if we all chose to take personal responsibility like you've taken in the last few months and change your habits? Because as soon as you do that and you become healthier, there's no virus or bacteria that's a true threat to your system.
We've made it through. And yeah, I everything you're saying is just hitting right home.
Yeah.
And even I've been worried about my parents a bit too, right? During all this, I'm sure like most of us are.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad hasn't gotten on board completely, but my mom, literally 3 weeks before COVID happened, she had a knee replacement surgery. And she has been overweight for a long time as well. She's down 50 pounds as well. And I
Wow.
see her moving around the best that I've seen move around in probably a decade. And that's after a knee replacement surgery. And
That's
I see her
amazing.
chasing her grandkids now, like playing around the kitchen and the living room area, like different person. And even where she is mentally, like it's just a blessing to see it. And I'm grateful for all of it. And that's why I've decided to kind of jump in on this journey as well, and just I want to help people and inspire people to do the same thing that I've done, because there's definitely hope, because I know the feeling of feeling hopeless, and I was there less than a year ago, and completely everything has changed.
Yeah, and you know what? I would also have to say that 9 or 10 months to create a transformation to where you are at this point after years of suffering, that's not a long span of time. It's a super short
You're right.
span of time if you really think about it. And I can guarantee you that if you embark on this journey and ask for help and accountability, there will be plenty of people that are going to cheer you on and champion what you're doing. And so I would encourage you, like, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you're like, oh, I really need to get healthier, then just start. Like, I would say reach out to Jason. Where can they find you on Instagram so that they can connect with you?
On Instagram, you can maybe search Jason Berry, or my handle is at TTJ, which means Uncle J. I've
So
got
it's
a
at
perfect background.
underscore, it's at underscore TITI
Underscore
underscore
J.
JAY.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And if you can't find him, just reach out to me and I'll direct you his way as well.
Right.
And it's so many people let live their life in quiet desperation. I can't remember who said that, but that always comes to mind. And I hope that in this conversation that something sparks in you that realizes that it doesn't have to be that way.
That perfectly describes where I was. A quiet desperation. It's fun,
Mhm.
like that's exactly what I was living for a long time, and it's not a fun place to be.
No, it
Yeah.
isn't.
And the way Purium and their superfoods, how easy they make it for us is just, I still can't get over it. It's unbelievable. How everything is just ready, shake and go, add water and go. Like that's it.
It is. It is really, really
There's no
easy.
excuses of spending hours in front of a juicer and juicing your fruits and vegetables. Like it's just been so easy. And
I love the ease of it because I have so many people who are like, I'm busy, I'm busy. And I was like, I get it, you're busy. So you know what? There's no excuse not to have great nutrition. You can have great nutrition on the go and have some whole food snacks and have whole food meals. And this the
yeah,
craziest thing is accomplishing what you've accomplished without having to sweat it out in the gym. And I love movement.
oh yeah,
My daily mantra is meditation, like mindset, movement, nutrition. So to me, like, as long as I cover off those bases, I'm in a good space. But nutrition is really 80% of it. And so you can be sweating it out in the gym for hours, but if your nutrition's not dialed in, then you are not going to get the results that you think you're going to get. If you can dial in your nutrition, you're going to get there way faster. So I'm excited to see with you back in a gym space, boxing and using superfoods, like how the rest of your transformation goes. In fact, I think you should definitely come back and tell us about it.
I definitely will. And I've been camera shy, but I'm definitely at a point where I'm ready to start sharing my journey online with people and inspiring people. So I'll definitely make a better effort to show the world that there's hope
There,
and documenting more of my journey. Absolutely.
yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think people need to hear that. They need to see what is possible. And in reality, it's whatever you dream is possible for yourself, it's possible. And excuse me, got a frog in my throat. And so it's really, really important to start finding those people who inspire you to create
Mm,
that transformation. If the circle you have isn't encouraging you to do better in your life and to rise higher, start seeking out those people. And you can find those people on Instagram and on YouTube. You can read their books, like, call those people into your life so that gives you the strength to do what you need to do to move forward in your life in a positive way.
absolutely. That's what
Yeah.
I was doing on a spiritual level before this all started. I literally, without truly at the time understanding what manifestation was or is, how to make it come about for ourselves.
Mhm.
I somehow manifested this all into my life,
Yeah,
and everything has changed.
that's amazing. I'm like, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Julie.
I'm a huge fan.
Likewise, you and Michael have been just amazing. You guys add a lot of value to my life. You've become really good friends of mine, and I'm excited for the future for all of us. It's going to be amazing. I have, for the first time in a long time, I have a really nice, beautiful, clear vision of what's to come, and I'm grateful. It's amazing.
So, what's even crazier is that you and I do not know each other in real life. Our whole
Oh,
relationship has been
for
through the
real.
phone, social media, and Zoom. And
Yeah,
one day we will meet in real life.
absolutely.
But it also goes to show that you can actually create authentic connections with people online, that there are really good people out in the world who, even though they might be in the digital space, they're genuine, they're authentic. So I would encourage you to seek those people out because they're going to support you on your journey.
Yeah,
And maybe
100%.
even more so than the people around you. Because, like,
Absolutely.
sometimes I know for myself, the community that I live in, there isn't as much access to, like, I'm the weirdo. I'm the I'm the green juice drinking, meditating weirdo. But you know
Vegan
what?
loving.
All I know is this shit works.
Absolutely.
So
No doubt about it.
yeah. So I just wanted to read the outro over the show. Uh, this show can be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Her network is a part of Spanglish World Media. Please check out spanglishworld.ca. And for all news and programming, Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. I think I've lost. Yay! I'm like, it's such an honor to have you here this morning. I think
Thank
I've
you. It's an
lost
honor to be with you.
Eduardo. Yeah, I think I've
Awesome.
lost Eduardo. I don't know where he is. So we'll just,
You're running the show here.
yeah,
Awesome.
cool beans. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I want her life in my next life.
There's nothing like a dog life, eh? They got it good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing,
No,
Julie.
it,
Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's nice to always have these kind of meaningful conversations with people. I appreciate it.
yeah, it's good to know that there are people who are thinking the way that you're thinking, and are also looking at the matrix and wanting to get out of the matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Life changing. It's crazy how this past year has been like such two divides, eh? Like such a transformational time for some people and such a trying, challenging time for other people. Like
Yeah.
just
But
crazy.
it just goes back to perspective, right? It just goes back to um, how we respond to challenges in our life. And so you can choose to choose to greet adversity with enthusiasm and try and, do your best and figure it out, or you can feel like, oh my God, what? So life, that it's that saying, and I'm sure you've heard it. Life is happening for you versus life is happening to you. And if you're the person who thinks life is happening to you, then everything outside of you sucks, right? It can take you down or build you up. But if you think life is happening for you, even the worst event can be a gift, right?
I was
So
there. Yeah.
you were there. You were there, and now you are well on your way
Yes, ma'am.
to being somewhere else.
Yeah. It's all up from here.
Do you have a visual of like what in your head of where you're going to be?
Mm, I'm working on that, but yeah, I definitely have some visions that are coming through of late, and um, yeah, I'd rather. I don't want to. I don't know. I definitely have some visions that I kind of want to keep to myself at the moment.
Okay, I get it.
I'm, but they're all positive and they're all like I have visions and like aspirations of things that I thought I would never be able to do, I guess you could say. And now I'm realizing that they're closer than I thought. And that's what I'll stick to right there.
Cool. Okay.
Traveling and just meeting, like, yeah, yeah,
So it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll go your way first or you'll come our way. I don't know.
yeah. I definitely got to go visit some family back home in Montreal this summer. So there's a chance I'll come and visit you guys as well in Toronto.
Hey, our
Traveling
home
is
is always
definitely on my
open.
list. Pardon
Pardon?
me? Traveling is definitely on my list. Yeah.
Well, we have a guest room, so
Nice. Is it on Airbnb? I'll book it.
no, we don't book it
I
on
know.
Airbnb. We
Bugging.
just allow friends to come and stay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've lost Eduardo. I'm gonna call him.
Nice. Are we over? Are we over?
Yep.
I take this damn shirt off. Um,
Hello. Okay. He's gonna come take us off the air.
oh yeah,
Awesome. All
nice.
right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna see you later today anyway.
Yeah, definitely. We'll chat again. Thanks so much, Julie, for the opportunity.